might be paying your bills with a smile. Go to KIISFM.com/bills. Tell Ryan which bill you need help with. Then starting January 9th, just listen for Ryan to call out your name on the 10.
Hey guys, 7-Eleven has a good deal. You buy any size coffee and you get a donut or a muffin for free. So you had to get the large one. Hell yeah, let's go.
Request for reimbursement for meals, hotel, and alternate transportation. The U.S. Department of Transportation has promised to hold the carrier accountable for those reimbursements. Forecasters say a storm system will bring 1 to 2 inches of rain to Southern California. The heaviest rain is expected tomorrow between 6 p.m. and midnight. A larger storm is forecast to bring more rain next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. The owner of a dispensary in Silver Lake says he wants justice for thieves who stole hundreds of pounds of weed.
I just have to tell myself it's just money, right? I mean, what am I to do?
Toby Stein says the thieves seemed guided, as video shows one FaceTiming during the burglary. Stein says the group went straight for his inventory room, loaded up bags with weed, and
I'm assuming that you asked for extradition to get the hell out of Romania. I'm willing to guess that Romanian prisons are a little bit rough. Just guessing. Yeah. All right, let's take our final break the same way as people that were in lower management. And so someone came up to me and go, hey, my mom is one of those highly paid people. You think I'm going to sign this? Right. No habla. Okay, you mentioned the supermarket. I was going to Gelson's yesterday, as I usually do. And you had no food on the way. You had no money on the way out. Okay, I went to Gelson's, and I forgot my bags in the car. And I had to get the bags they provide, and I think it's 10 cents per bag or something like that. But California is investigating whether the thicker plastic shopping bags, like the ones I got yesterday, because I noticed the difference.
Going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard, keeping 38,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Western Financial Group, leads the largest timeshare company in federal court, and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now to get the timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
The seatbelt, seat up. He did it in rap. And everybody just loved it. You're not going to see that on any other airline for sure. I want to ask you a question about reimbursement. And there's a couple of issues. They said reasonable reimbursement. So I'm extrapolating here in my head. What happens? You get on a car, you get in a car, you finally able to go someplace. And the only place you can stay within 200 miles is a Four Seasons at $1,000 a night. And there's no other place to go. Do you get into a fight with them? I'm sure internally where they're going to go with, quote, reasonable reimbursement.
Yeah. I think that sounded a lot like legalese.
Obviously, what Southwest is going to do desperately is try to bring back its reputation. Any idea how long you think it's going to take?
Well, how long is somebody's member? I'd say maybe 6 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's short.
That's short. Because even after something horrible happens, I'm thinking back to the Delta Airlines crash at DFW Airport in 1985. 137 people died, when that L-1011.
Right.
4 years later, there was a less serious crash, although 14 people were killed. Were people still flying Delta after that?
Yeah.
The reputation suffered for a while, but they managed to rebuild it. So I suspect that Southwest, this is a
That coffee was good, bro. Here we are at Playa del can't even say it, Playa del Rey, or Playa del Rey, delivering some tires. I believe it's gonna be those 4. Let's go. All right, it's gonna be these 4.
November 30th, some of the big news stories that are trending, and we're covering one, the weather. It's going to start raining tomorrow, big time over the weekend. Looks like the Rose Bowl and the Rose Parade are going to be, well, under the weather, if you will. And also one of the big stories is Pele, the Brazilian king of soccer. I thought I'd share some of what he was about. Really an extraordinary person. I mean, just a world figure, one of the best known figures on the planet, and rightly so, Brazilian. And as I grew up in Brazil, spent my early formative years, that was simply part of the language. Pele was simply who you read about, talked about, enjoyed. He was born, dead broke. Edson Arantes do Nascimento. Edson, because of Thomas Edison. His parents were big fans of Thomas Edison, so that's how he became Edson. And his nickname was Pele, and he hated it as a kid. They would make fun of him, and all of a sudden, he becomes the greatest soccer player in the world, uses Pele, and that's not a name you made fun of. And he came, and I'd say, poor. That family didn't have enough to eat. He grew up in a shack with his uncle, his siblings, his parents, and the soccer ball that he played with wasn't a ball. They couldn't afford a ball. So they'd take pieces of cloth and literally wrap them up with string, and that's, he played on the streets. And he did it in Santos, which is a poor district. It's a port city right outside of São Paulo. And it's a rough place to go. And he came up to become clearly the most famous soccer player in the world. Why? Because he was the best soccer player in the world. And here are a few things that he did. For example, he played his first World Cup before his 17th birthday and scored a goal. No one has ever come close to that. He has scored more goals than any soccer player in history. He's taken Brazil to 3 World Cups. Brazil has 5, and it's the leader at this point. And it was, well, one more, and you don't have many countries that have taken 5 World Cups. This is a poor nation, or certainly was a poor nation. And the first World Cup he was in is 1958. And he actually came to the United States, and he brought soccer to the United States. And we were talking this morning, Jason and I were talking about video that's out there, watching him play. He could score goals with either foot. He was just as good with his left and his right foot.
Something I didn't notice until I watched those highlights on that show was that he would dribble off of his opponent's shin guard. Like he would bounce the ball back to himself at an angle off of the shin guard.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just incredible.
And then if you see the video of his bicycle kick, and a bicycle kick, let me just quickly describe it if I can. The ball is about, head height. And what he would be able to do as the ball was coming to him, and it was, and his teammates would actually kick to him at that height. What he would do is kick up in the air with his back, facing the ground, with his back in that direction, and then slam his leg up, around, and kick the ball into the goal. And then he will go all the way around. That's why he called it a bicycle kick. It is one of the most extraordinary moves that any athlete can make, and it is so thrilling. And the thing about Pele, which is so terrific, is he became a very wealthy man, as you can imagine, with endorsements and various business investments, which he lost a pile of money on, I might add, is that he devoted his life to charity. He devoted his life to kids' charities and promoting soccer around the world. And he is, well, just to give you the idea, the Shah of Iran once waited 3 hours to meet him. When he met President Reagan, the president shook his hand and said, "Hi, I'm Ronald Reagan. You don't even have to tell me your name. Everybody in the world knows who Pele is." He met dozens of head of state, and we're not talking about in an official move where they have to meet and it's protocol. These are heads of state that were desperate to meet him because I shook hands with Pele. And it was, when you look at this stuff, it's just terrible. He was knighted by the Queen of England. How many Americans think have a knighthood by the Queen? I mean, almost none. And his dad was a soccer player, minor league soccer player, who was injured, so he couldn't do much about it. And of course, this little kid, and no formal teaching, didn't have coaches, did this all on his own with most natural talent that he was given. Who was it that once, I think Charlton Heston, once in describing his role as Michelangelo. Charlton Heston played Michelangelo in a great movie. And when describing Michelangelo, he said, once every 1,000 years or so, or once every 500 years, God blows in someone's ear. And out of that comes a Michelangelo. Out of that comes a Pele. And I thought that was absolutely just a perfect definition of who this man was. He was declared a national treasure officially by Brazil's president before he turned 21. What a life, what a guy, for sure. Coming up at the White House, Biden... on the iHeartRadio app.
Not just stimulating talk, it's more. KFI.
KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Idaho murder case arrest. A 25-year-old man in Pennsylvania has been arrested in connection with the 4 University of Idaho students who were found stabbed to death. Investigators say they knew who they were looking for and tracked the man down in the Pocono Mountains. The 4 college students were killed last month in their off-campus home. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department is grieving over the killing of one of its deputies. KFI's Blake Trolley reports live. The sheriff in Riverside County is blaming the legal system. Sheriff Chad Bianco says he's heartbroken over the loss of Deputy Isaiah Cordero, who's been with...
according to her, Dr. Levy says, are really malleable. They're not set in stone. You think your belief as I'm getting older and it's sort of there, it can change and should change. The other thing is science believes that biology, really more than mindset, may be the reason people feel older or younger. See, these are studies that show, you know what? It's genes. It's genes. Some people have a propensity to get fat. Some people can't get fat no matter how much they try. They just can't because you're genetically made up differently, wired differently. And that may be the same thing as to the outlook on aging and actually aging. I mean, have you noticed there are people that are in their 70s, God, you look like you're 50. And then there are people in their 50s, and I've been told many, many times when I hit 50 for Gary and Shannon, you have a good end of the year, have a happy new year, go outside at midnight, make sure that you get near someone shooting a gun into the sky so the bullet comes down and gets very near you. Okay, guys, have a good one. Handle in the Morning Crew, KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
It's hard to keep track of everything that's going on. Luckily, that's a little hobby of ours.
KFI.
KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Idaho murder arrest. I'm Amy King, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. A man in Pennsylvania has been arrested in connection with the murders of 4 University of Idaho. Forecasters also say people can expect cooler temperatures. Plenty of snow is expected to cover Big Bear Mountain Resort this holiday weekend. The resort says the area has received 22 inches of snow so far this season. Along with snowmaking efforts, there is a 36-inch base at the summit. A man who went out during the blizzard in Buffalo, New York to save stranded people says he broke into a school to keep everyone safe. The man headed out in his truck last week to rescue a friend stuck in the snow when he came across others who needed his help.
I thought we were gonna die. You know, it was scary and unforgettable.
This person says the man saved everyone by helping them stay warm inside the school. Police say the man saved over 20 people and 2 dogs who were stranded in the snow. He also left a note at the school apologizing for breaking in. Southland weather from KFI, cloudy with a slight chance of rain this afternoon.
And so, this is what they decided. She got a spontaneous tear in a membrane in her ear. Doing nothing, and all of a sudden, like your eardrum just rips. A guy's voice got more and more hoarse over a period of months. Why is this happening to this guy? Well, it's because of blastomyces dermatitis. That isn't a disease. It's a fungus. It's a type of yeast and a fungus, and it was growing in his lips. Keeps your voice buzzed. So then they cleaned it out, and then he sounded normal again. And a woman went into shock. Medical shock, not that she was shocked. The medical condition of shock, which can be very life-threatening. Your blood flow slows down. Organs can be hurt because they're not getting enough oxygen when you go into shock if they don't do something about it. And it turns out it's because she made herself a drink.
So I'm here at LAX and I have to pick up all these nasty ass tires. Look at this. There's mud in there, full of water. Look at all this crap. All right, those are stacked. Check this. Look at all this water. Check this out. Oh shit. That's nasty, man. You gotta be real careful. That's nasty, dude. Fuck. Oh shit, look at that. All right, look at all this. Look at all that shit. Ugh. All right, so all of those, we're gonna have to now damn. It's all gonna go in here. All of those tires are gonna go in here. Nasty.
But it's not a fun story, I'm afraid, but a guy from Alaska got a great phone call. He'd been on the list to get a heart transplant for a while. And he got the call. They had one for him at the University of Washington Medical Center in Seattle. So he gets on an Alaska Airlines flight from Fairbanks to Seattle, and then, well, now Alaska Airlines comes out like heroes here. They got him on another flight, even with all the other stuff going on. You know what's been going on with air travel. And he gets on another flight that they arranged for him, and then unfortunately because of the weather they had to reroute that flight to Anchorage, which he didn't know until he got off the plane.